Welcome everybody, I'm RJ of The Nerdy Brew, and here on this channel we talk TV, movies, and everything in between, all while drinking a cup of coffee. Now if you like one of those things, or all of those things, why don't you consider like, subscribing, and hit that notification bell, and becoming a fellow Brewster. So today, fellow Brewsters, thank you for coming. This is a top 10. Thank you for sitting down, having this cup of coffee with me. I haven't done these in a while, so I just had a particular set of thoughts that I wanted to get out that was on my mind. And so there have been some films in the past that have been remade that have also done well. There was 310 to Yuma, King Kong of 2005, and there's also the new Dune films that are, that came out, and then the second one that's on the way. But then there's also some remade duds that happened. There's such as the Ben-Hur of 2016. That movie didn't need to be remade. The original one is a classic. And there's also Psycho, that's also a classic that was remade shot for shot for whatever reason, didn't add anything new, was one starring Vince Vaughn. That was in the 90s. There's some stories that had some good concepts and some good ideas, but that had bad execution or could benefit from modern technology. They could also use some attention. And looking at this list, a majority of these films are superhero films. That's kind of like in the trend, and there's this conversation of superhero fatigue. So I'm just thinking maybe this list could able to revitalize and also bring attention to the films that had some good gems in there, but were limited by the technology of the time. And I just wanted to discuss them. Okay, so number 10 is Warriors of Virtue. So the thing about Warriors of Virtue, it was like a time where they was trying to capitalize on like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and there was also Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. These four brothers, or this family that were doctors that wanted to just transition into the movie realm, so they decided to make the Warriors of Virtue. And for those who don't know what the Warriors of Virtue is, it's a fantasy martial arts film that was released in 1997. The film follows the story of a young boy named Ryan Jeffries, I guess he's another RJ as well, who magically finds himself in a mystical world called Tao. There, he befriends anthropomorphic kangaroo-like creatures known as the Warriors of Virtues. These warriors embody the elements of nature, and they protect the land of Tao. Together, they must face the evil warlord Komodo, who seeks to take over Tao and unleash chaos upon both worlds. It was directed by Ronnie Yu. Warriors of Virtues combine martial arts action with unique blend of fantasy elements, making it intriguing with concepts for its time. So Warrior of Virtue deserves a reboot because it has untapped potential and the ability to appeal to a new generation of audiences. The original film introduced captivating premise and its fascinating blend of martial arts, fantasy, and talking animal warriors. Kids love that shit. However, there is the technology and visual effects of the 90s. It's limited to its full film potential. To me, I'm always a fan of practical effects, and I love that era of having practical effects, but how technology and how makeup and the things that we have, like Thanos looks amazing. His Black Order looked amazing. So the things that we could do with technology now, and even with what was that movie, The Lion King or the Jungle Book movies, however you feel about the execution of the movies, the visual effects of the movies was bar none. So we could make the modern film making techniques inside that film and bring the inhabitants to Tao life. And also, even with a reboot, we have Kung Fu Panda. We could just add that into that kind of universe as well, because we have Kung Fu Panda. But focusing on the character development and exploring the rich lore of Tao, a reboot could create a more immersive and emotional resonant experience. Moreover, a contemporary take on Warriors of Virtue could explore relevant themes of environmentalism, friendship, and the balance between humans and nature, making it relevant and engaging for today's audience. The right direction and updated approach of a reboot to Warriors of Virtue has potential to become thrilling and visually spectacular adventure, appealing to both fans of the original film and new viewers alike. So number 9 is Star Kid. So Star Kid is a science fiction film released in 1997. The story follows a young boy named Spencer Griffith who discovers an alien cyber suit that crash landed on Earth. And when he puts on the suit, he gains incredible superpowers and becomes a superhero, and is directed by Manny Cotto, starring Joseph Mazzello. And the movie is weird, the costume was ugly, the aliens were ugly, the little boy at some point, he eats some poop.
How am I supposed to eat this thing?
Insert nourishment into food processing receptacle.
Here it goes.
Stand by to receive nourishment.
I'm supposed to eat that.
I love the practical effects and I love the set building, but that movie was under budget and that movie didn't know what it wanted to be. And like, the main kid tried to kill a mascot worker and he doesn't do anything heroic during the film. The only thing that I could recall is that he takes a really good, satisfying pee.
Wow. That was special.
But Star Kid deserves a reboot due to its endearing concept and its potential to have an exciting contemporary update. A reboot could introduce this concept to a new generation, inspiring them to embrace their inner hero. With advancements in visual effects and CGI technology, a modern reboot could bring the alien cybersuit to life with more realistic and visual captivating effects. By emphasizing on character development and emotional depths, the reboot could further explore challenges and growth of being young with our protagonist's thirst of extraordinary circumstances. Additionally, in today's age of superhero movies and science fiction blockbusters, Star Kid could find its place among those who beloved the films of the genre, offering a fresh and unique take on classic superhero tale. A well-executed reboot of Star Kid has potential to invoke nostalgia for fans of the original film and also captivating a new generation young viewers with its heartwarming message and thrilling superhero adventures. And I think if you look at Transformers Rise of the Beast, it could be a good example of alien sentient robot bonding with their human companion, in the sense of, if you saw that movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I think that that's a good example to have a basis and a foundation to weave these things in. Number 8, Dick Tracy. So Dick Tracy is a classic American crime film that was released in 1990. The movie is based on a popular comic strip of the same name that was created by Chester Gould in the 1930s, but the film was directed and played by Warren Beatty, who took the lead as the titular character of Dick Tracy. The film boasts an impressive cast, including Al Pacino, Madonna, Glenn Headley, and Dustin Hoffman, among others. James Caan got a cameo in there. With its striking visual style, colorful characters, and nostalgic charm, Dick Tracy quickly became a beloved cult classic. And if y'all don't know Mumbles was one of the best characters from Dustin Hoffman, besides probably, I don't know, Hook, or Meet the Fockers. That's just me in my modern age, but Mumbles is such an amazing character. Great comedy for that film.
Care for some water? I'm thirsty. Where's Lips Manless? Where's Lips Manless?
Baby girl. Also, what was really good about that movie of Dick Tracy? Dick Tracy was the last movie before they went into digital. A lot of old film ideas and film like special effects. So they did a lot of painting, like realistic painting for the setting, right? For the atmosphere, and then they would composite and compose film and blend it together. And the costumes was real. The movie went over budget, and it was also from Disney. But that movie, utilized a lot of old film techniques to make that movie look as visually striking as it does. And to me, I think it still holds up. But a Dick Tracy reboot is a promising idea because it's timeless storytelling, iconic visual style, and a strong cast potential. The film is rich in diverse characters, have a chance to explore their complexities and making the narrative engaging and more for modern audiences with themes of crime and corruption. A reboot could address current societal issues while appealing to the nostalgic of fans. By utilizing current technology, the visual style can be enhanced, creating a visual and stunning immersive experience. And additionally, the potential of cinematic universe to expand the story's universe adds depth and exciting to a reboot's prospects. Yo, you get Baz Luhrmann to direct, you get maybe Josh Hartnett or Josh Duhamel or Leonardo DiCaprio to play the titular role of Dick Tracy. It just seems like a win to me. So number 7 is Percy Jackson. Percy Jackson and the Olympians is a film series based on the popular book series written by Rick Riordan. Well, the first movie, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief, was released in 2010, followed by a sequel, Percy Jackson and the Sea Monsters, in 2013. The story follows Percy Jackson, a demigod, the son of Poseidon, as he embarks on epic quests and battles mythological creatures to prevent catastrophic events in the mortal world. The film features a blend of Greek mythology, action, and adventure, and focus on friendship and courage and embracing one's destiny. The series is getting a reboot on Disney Plus with the young man from the Addams Project. That film came out last year. But then there was also going on with the strikes of the writer's strike and the actor strike. So who knows when that's gonna come out. But I will say that the series, the book series, has enough source material to be a long-lasting franchise. And it also brings out the mythology to newer audiences and younger viewers. At that time period, Greek mythology, well, for me, when I was growing up as a child, Greek mythology from Hercules, Kevin Sorbo, Xena with Lucy Lawless, Hercules movie from Disney. There was a lot of Greek mythology. So with that being said, just that aspect of that history, that human history, that could be brought out to newer audiences along with those films, and the film series didn't finish, so it'd be good to just see that it deserves a reboot and it needs a reboot. Number 6 is Clue. Clue is a cult classic mystery comedy film released in 1985 based on a popular board game of the same name by Hasbro, directed by Jonathan Lynn. The movie takes place in a secluded mansion with 6 strangers with colorful aliases are invited to a mysterious dinner party. As the night unfolds, they discover that they all have secrets, and when a murder occurs, they must work together to unravel the mystery and identify the killer. With this witty humor, clever plot twist, and multiple possible endings, Q became a beloved favorite for its unique interactive storytelling. So why it needs a reboot? Clue presents an excellent opportunity for a reboot due to its timeless appeal and potential for fresh, innovative storytelling. A reboot could explore new twists and turns, keeping viewers guessing until the very end, while incorporating modern technologies, social media elements to engage the audience further. With the popularity of an ensemble cast and assembled mystery series, a reboot of Clue could attract top-tier actors and build a dynamic, diverse cast by embracing the spirit of the original while embracing contemporary sensibilities. a Clue reboot could become delightful and entertaining mystery comedy for a whole new generation and for moviegoers. With Knives Out franchise and Kenneth Branagh, who's always returning as Hercule Poirot, there's room for it. There's a movie called See How They Run that came out last year that was really good and really funny, and that's the closest thing to a remake of Clue today. And it's on Hulu and it's also on HBO Max, and so I recommend you watch that movie. That movie was really funny to me. So as of right now, that's the closest that we have to a Clue reboot. But if Hasbro was to jump on it, since they got Transformers and G.I. Joe, why not? And then they make a Ouija movie as well. So if they're making that out of board games, then I think it's possible for a reboot for Clue as well. Number 5, Spawn. So Spawn is a dark, gritty superhero film based on the comic book of the character of the same name, created by Todd McFarlane. The movie was released in 1997, and it marked the directorial debut of Todd McFarlane himself. The story follows Al Simmons, a government assassin who's betrayed and murdered by his boss. After making a deal with a malevolent demon named Malbolgia, Al is resurrected as Spawn, a hell spawn with supernatural powers and a demonic appearance. Fueled by vengeance, Spawn navigates the dangerous realms of both the living and the dead as he seeks to right the wrongs from his former life. A reboot could dive deeper into the complex and tortured psyche of Al Simmons, exploring the emotional journey of a man torn by his human past and his demonic destiny. With advancements in practical effects and CGI, a new film could depict a supernatural elements of the dark underworld in a more chilling and visual impressive manner. Additionally, a well-crafted reboot could tap into the current popularity of anti-hero narratives, showcasing the internal struggle of a tormented protagonist grappling with his newfound powers and sense of justice by embracing the darker themes and tonal aspects of the comics of Spawn itself. A reboot has potential to crave its niche as a compelling and intense superhero story that appeals to adult audiences seeking a fresh take on the genre. Jamie Foxx was supposed to play the character, but I haven't heard any update. Maybe when clone Jamie feels better, they might get it rolling again. Number 4, so The Shadow is a superhero film released in 1994 based on the character created by Walter B. Gibson in the 1930s. The movie is directed by Russell McKay and stars Alec Baldwin as Lamont Cranston, a wealthy playboy who, after acquiring mysterious psychic powers during his time in the Far East, becomes a vigilante known as The Shadow. Using his newfound abilities to cloud minds and become invisible, the Shadow fights crime and seeks to rid New York of evil. Set in a noir-inspired 1930s atmosphere, the film combines elements of action, adventure, with supernatural intrigue. Why The Shadow needs a reboot? The Shadow reboot presents a fantastic opportunity to resurrect a classic pulp hero and introduce him to modern audiences. While the 1994 film had its strengths, a reboot could explore the Shadow's origin and mythos in a greater detail, providing more in-depth and compelling narrative. By embracing the noir setting of the 1930s and weaving in modern filmmaking techniques, a reboot could create a visually stunning atmospheric experience. With improved special effects, the film could portray the Shadow's psychic abilities and stealthy tactics in a more convincing and thrilling manner. Furthermore, a reboot could cast a charismatic lead who could portray the duality of Lamont Cranston as a shadowy alter ego with depth and intensity. So as audiences continue to enjoy superhero stories with complex characters and intricate plots, a reboot of The Shadow could become a captivating and stylish addition to the superhero genre. Number 3, The Phantom. So The Phantom is a superhero film released in 1996 based on the iconic comic strip by Lee Falk in 1936. The film is directed by Simon Windsor and stars Billy Zane as the titular character of Kit Walker, aka the Phantom. Set in the 1930s, the film is the legacy of the Walker family, known for their role as the Phantom, the masked vigilante with extraordinary physical abilities and keen intellect. The Phantom is the protector of the fictional African nation of Bengala, fighting against evil forces to maintain peace and justice. A Phantom reboot is a compelling opportunity to reintroduce this classic pulp hero to contemporary audiences while embracing its adventurous spirit and unique setting. And the 1996 film showcased the character's potential. A reboot could delve deeper into the Phantom's rich lore, exploring his family's legacy and the mystique surrounding the Ghost Who Walks. It's set in a place and time period. It could be a movie or it could be an anthology series of different Walker men, and it could be the descendants. It doesn't even have to be a white man. That's not a problem that it is, but it's ripe for diversification. With modern film techniques and choreography, the reboot could deliver thrilling action sequences that highlight the Phantom's extraordinary combat skills and agility. There was a Phantom cartoon show that was in the 90s, the Phantom 2040, and there was also the Defenders of Earth that was in the 80s, and that also had Flash Gordon, and that was a cartoon that's ripe for a cinematic universe that can start with the Phantom for everything to culminate. And I honestly feel, to me, I think Zack Snyder would be the great director to start off with the reboot of the Phantom. Number 2, The Rocketeer. So The Rocketeer is a superhero film released in 1991, directed by Joe Johnston, the same director who directed the first Avenger or Captain America. The movie is based on the comic book created by Dave Stevens in 1982. Set in the 1930s, the story follows Cliff Secord, a young stunt pilot who discovers a mysterious rocket pack hidden in his hangar. Upon strapping on the rocket, Cliff becomes the Rocketeer, a high-flying superhero with the ability to soar through the skies. As he takes on the mantle of the superhero, Cliff must protect the rocket pack from falling into the wrong hands of the foiling plot of the Nazis. Nazis are still relevant today. Hate is always relevant, and that's why we need these stories to combat what hate is, so it can just be propagandized, just like how propaganda was shown in the Rocketeer film. So, a Rocketeer reboot is a fascinating opportunity to revive the charming and adventurous superhero tale for modern audiences. The 1991 film captured the spirit of the 1930s with its classic pulp style of storytelling and nostalgic visuals. A reboot could preserve these elements while also incorporating modern filmmaking techniques to create thrilling and visual stunning aerial sequences. With advancements in CGI, the rocket pack's flight and action sequences could be elevated to a new heights. Think of Iron Man when he did his first flight against those fighter jets. Imagine that with the Rocketeer.
Ballroom, this is Whiplash 1. I've got the bogey in my sight.
And you are clear to engage.
Get it.
Oh, he just went supersonic. I got a lock.
Bogey deployed flares.
Additionally, a reboot could provide a fresh take on the character's origin and motivation. motivations, offering a more in-depth exploration of Cliff's journey and daring stunt pilot to a true hero. By combining retro aesthetic and contemporary sensibilities, the reboot appealed to both fans of the old film and the new ones. But also, the film doesn't even have to be set in the 1930s, and that might be his origin for the Rocketeer. And maybe if they were to make a new Rocketeer, maybe the film could be a sequel to the original one in 1991. And there's some information on that too. Yeah, so David Oyelowo and the director of Devotion, they both had a plan, and David Oyelowo's wife, I think she's a producer as well, they had a plan to make a reboot film, and the film was going to have the lead being part of the Tuskegee Airmen, but the director walked away because he did Devotion, and he said that was too much similar with the time period in the feel of what his take on the Rocketeer was going to be. The film is definitely on hiatus until Disney asked me to make it, and I got plenty of ideas for them to do it. Number one, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. So The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is a superhero film released in 2003, loosely based on the comic book series of the same name by Alan Moore and Kevin O'Neill, directed by Stephen Norrington. The movie brings together a group of famous literary characters from various classic works. The League includes characters such as Alan Quatermain, Captain Nemo, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, The Invisible Man, Mina Harker from Bram Stoker's Dracula, and Dorian Gray. Together, they unite to combat a sinister plot that threatens the world in the 19th century. Shout out to Moriarty. And speaking of Moriarty, there's also Mycraft, who was in the comics that they didn't even utilize, and that is Sherlock's brother. Then they could have put him in the film, but that's why this is good for a reboot. A League of Extraordinary Gentlemen reboot offers a unique and exciting opportunity to reimagine and reintroduce these iconic literary characters for fresh and a captivating manner. While the 2003 film had an intriguing premise, but a reboot could explore the characters, backgrounds, dynamics more in depth and enriching their development and interactions. By staying truer to the source material, the reboot could honor the original graphic novel and the character's depth complexity. Also, with advancements in visual effects, the film could bring the fantastical steampunk elements of the 19th century to life, creating a visual, stunning, immersive world of the League's adventures. Additionally, a well-crafted reboot could emphasize on the League's diverse personalities and abilities. So, presenting a rich tapestry of character-driven storytelling as audience continue to embrace superhero assemblies and complex narratives, a reboot of The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen has potential to become a thrilling and intellectually engaging cinematic experience, celebrating the legacy of these beloved literary characters while bringing them to a new generation of moviegoers. The comic series had 3 volumes and 1 spin-off. That one takes place in modern day. I haven't read that one. It's been many years since I read the original League of Extraordinary Gentlemen comic books, but they created James Bond's granddad, who is like the Nick Fury of it all, who oversees what they do and how they operate, and just that also keeps in line of literary themes and literary characters that they were able to introduce. But if you look at shows like Doom Patrol or Umbrella Academy or even the MCU, you can pull so much content from the League and get a good director, good production team, like the people who made Midnight Mass or The Outsider, and make it eerie and gothic. Good content is there. But those are my thoughts on top 10 films that deserve a reboot. What films would you like to see get their own reboots? Let us know down in the comments. And I want to shout out to Paradigm Shift TV for being the ones to comment on the last video. So make sure that you comment for yourself to get a shout out. And please subscribe and like. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Donate to the channel. It takes a lot of time to get this stuff. There's a lot of edits, all of that. but I'm trying to transition. Not my gender, but into my livelihood. So it'll just help out a lot in the channel if you could please like and subscribe if you happen to see this. And also, we have a lot of other stuff on the channel. So if you want to see, you know, where we came from to where we're going and all of that, yo, go check us out. Explore the channel, help with watch time. I'm grateful with a lot of gratitude. With all that being said, oh, and I have an announcement that's gonna happen on the channel, so subscribe, check the community page for that as well. But I'm gonna bring this video to an end, and I want you to be you, do you, see the bigger picture, have a fantastic day, because you deserve it. This is that channel. Peace.
Mouth on top, Kung Fu, Bruce Lee chop, moon rocks, go Red Sox, tryna go far like Boondocks, headshot, blunt stay high, talking shit, gotta pull up on they block, you fraud, I'm Couchgod, know you got a tax like a state charge, safe house, safe house, safe house, safe house.